Well, hello, welcome back. It is Sunday, December the 6th. I should know that because I just did a video on the 5th of 2020. I had been teasing an EDC video for a while, and now it's finally time for it. So, before we get into the part that everybody wants to see, right, which is the Gucci gear, the tricked out Glock, the $1,000 knife, let me just warn you there's nothing like that in this video. Everything you're going to see, and its alternate, is under normal circumstances easily obtainable, easy for the average end user to handle, use, etc. There's nothing here that's out of the reach or out of the realm of possibility for you as the armed prepared citizen to obtain this gear. Also, the thing that most people don't consider when they talk about everyday carry is the mindset, right? So I can sit here and show you all the gear in the world. I can go open the safe, I can go pull out some ARs, be like, yeah, I carry this in the back of my truck on a daily basis, rah, right? You know, show you some friggin' snazzy reloads and tactical stances and things like that. But if you don't have the mindset, that's the knowledge to use the equipment that you have, the ability to use the equipment that you have, and the intent. And by intent, I mean if the need arises, you have to intend to address that threat or fix that medical situation, what have you, right? So it doesn't matter what you have with you if you don't have the mindset, if you don't know how to use it properly and succinctly. And the other caveat I want to give you guys, if you hear a dog barking or a cat jumps up here, that's the cost of doing business. So, without further ado, you guys are wondering, what are you carrying? What are you carrying, right? What do you carry every day? I'll get to the stuff that's not on my person first. So the first thing that's not on my person is medical. That stays in the truck, unless I'm traveling with my wife, then it goes in her car. I have a sling bag that I keep all my medical equipment in, tourniquets, quick clot, combat gauze, things like that. It's kit that I built over time. I'm sure I could get something more high speed, low drag from some of the other content creators that feel the need to pump them as commercials on a daily basis. And hey, more power to them, that's their thing. I've seen those kits, they're pretty good. No infomercial here. What it is, where I got it from, and why I use it. That's it. So, in the truck, I have medical. I also have a cell phone. That's downstairs. Beyond that, everything else that I carry on my person day to day, you will see. So, let's start. I know. What do you got? What do you got, Event? What do you got? I'm going to stand up. And you guys can enjoy the obligatory crotch shot. Alright, so if you notice, if I do a little turn on the catwalk here, you really don't see a whole lot of anything, right? There you go. That one's for you, John. And, you know, I could give the old New York prepper shot too, but we ain't gonna go there. So the first thing, basic, right? Pocket knife. Let's sit down. This is a Browning Black Label something or other. Liner lock knife. Plain edge, really sharp. I got it for like 20 bucks on eBay. It's able to be open with one thumb, locks up fairly tight, carries tip up in the pocket so that when I want to take it out, all I have to do is that. And if I lose it, it was only $20, and it works. Next thing, this flashlight, an homage to John, who I gave the butt shot to. This is a Streamlight ProTac 1L 1AA. There you go. You can see that. I believe I purchased this for about 40 bucks on eBay at the recommendation of Alpha Charlie Concepts. It is a bright little light, and it has multiple modes, as you can see. high, low, and strobe. You can feed it. This is the thing that I particularly like about it, that you can feed it on one CR123 battery or one AA battery. Now, the CR123 battery gives you a bit higher output and a little bit longer of a runtime. But in a pinch, if you need a battery, the ability to stick a AA in here and have a working flashlight, hands down, one of the nicest little buy-ins to this. Put that back where it goes. And right about now, I'm guessing everybody's wondering, where's the gun? Where's the gun? I don't know, where's the gun? Can anybody tell me where the gun is? I'm going to tell you. Right here. We'll unload this for the people that... There's the bullet. There you have one empty Beretta, right? No mag, no bullet. On the other side is a spare magazine. So you'll notice this one is an 18 round magazine. I have like 4 of these, that's why they're numbered 18-1 like that. My backup is a 20 round magazine. And I believe I have like 3 or 4 of these as well. If, for some reason, the 18 rounds plus 1 in the gun aren't sufficient to fit the bill, I want all the chances I can get to finish the job. Now, that being said, sometimes I will carry another magazine in a different position on my body. Sometimes I'll throw an extra magazine in the medical bag. Depends what I'm doing, where I'm going, how long I'm going to be there, right? But why did you choose the Beretta? So if you go back, I did a video about the Beretta versus the Glock, and my choice might surprise you. So after having time to put some more rounds through the Beretta, quite honestly, I shoot it better. I'm more comfortable with it. And this one's going to break the internet. This Beretta has been far more reliable than either of my Glocks. So I have a Glock 45 and a Glock 23. Both of them, through firing grip, right, or lack of proper firing grip, I can induce malfunctions. Now, that said, if, put that back there for a minute, if I'm seated and, oh my God, somebody just kicked in my front door, there's a chance that I'm not going to get a proper grip on the gun. It's just going to be a hasty situation. And where it lines up in my hand might not be perfect, right? Because no matter how much you train for a perfect grip, you can't train real world scenarios where the chips are down and the poop has hit the fan. You can induce stress, you can have someone else induce stress, but none of the above are the equivalent of the real world. The other thing that I find to be more conducive to carrying the Beretta than the Glock in my personal life is that it just fits my hand better, right? So here you see the Beretta is still empty, the gun is still empty, right? We can establish that. I'm going to give you a full magazine view just for, and we'll even put the safety on for the real safety sallies. So with a flush fitting magazine, I can get, you can see I get my whole hand on that. If I really wanted to, I could lock up a 20 round magazine and get a really good grip on it. And if I wanted to carry 2 20 round magazines, there you go. You can see it right there if you look. If I stand like that, you might be able to see it. I'm a larger dude. I go about 6'1", 6'2", 220-ish. Probably a little bit more than that because it's the holiday season. So I don't have a problem hiding a large pistol. And I just find that I shoot it better. It fits me better. It meets the minimum criteria for a carry pistol for me. As far as the reliability goes, as far as the accessorizability goes, we'll get back to that, and the shootability by the end user being me. So this is a basic M9 A1. No frills, right? It's not the 92 A1, it's not the Elite, it's not the Brigadier, it's not the G model, it's just got a safety on it. You learn how to manipulate your weapon, you don't turn the safety on by mistake. There's really nothing too Gucci about this pistol. It has a Wilson Combat short reach trigger, which is more like, I don't know, I guess like a parenthesis, as opposed to the factory trigger that's got a more J shape. It just makes it easier to get a good purchase and squeeze on. I don't know, it was $30. I figured if I didn't like it, the worst that would happen is it would go back in the parts box. I love it. It helps tremendously. I have a Wilson Combat mainspring in here. Forget if it's the D spring or the 14 pounder. I tried them both out, and I don't remember which one I went with. I think it's the 14. Surefire X300 Ultra. I believe this is this is X300A. This is a later model, so I believe it's like 600 lumen or 800 as opposed to the 500 that they started with. It's sufficient for indoors. It's sufficient for outdoors too, but it just goes with, so it goes with the line of the pistol very well, right? It matches the lines, and it was the only light that I had that wasn't doing anything else at the moment. So I put it on there using not the spring tensioner, but there's another piece. I don't know if you can see it. There's an Allen key tensioner mount that goes in there and a locking lever, and it locks up extremely tight. That's the other reason I love this light on here, is this locks up tight, so if you have to jam it into something, it's not going anywhere. And quite honestly, most bad things happen at night, so the ability to have illumination on your handgun gives you an advantage. Along the lines of accessorizability, right? The front sight on the old style Berettas is milled in, which means you're very limited with sight options. If I wanted to, I could change out the rear sight, and I still might. Wilson Combat makes a nice one that just gives you a better, well, here, we'll do it this way. It gives you the ability to get a quicker and better sight picture. You can still do cool guy stuff with this one, rack it off stuff, right? Because, you know, if you can't rack it off your belt, it's not a real sight. So I'm told anyway. What I ended up doing was blacking out the rear sight and just putting some fluorescent green paint in the front sight. Some guys like orange, some guys like the factory white. I like green. It just draws my eye quicker. Now, that said, in the dark, if it is pitch black, I can't see my sights. But if it's pitch black and I can see my sights, I probably still can't see my target, which is where having the light comes into play. And I know somebody's going to get in here and be like, oh, you're going to flag the dog. You're going to muzzle the dog with the light. Well, yeah, probably. If there's somebody in the house and I know they're in there, that's why they call it trigger discipline. You know, put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to use it. Now, if I'm just looking for something, that's what this comes in for, right? Because who drops their keys in their car and uses their pistol as a light? Not me. That said, like I said, there's going to be people that tell you, oh, you should do it the old-fashioned way, like this. The minute you turn that light on, you're going to give away your position. A lot of it is FUD lore, or people who come at this from no real-world experience. In a real-world situation, yeah, you're going to give up your position, but that bad guy's going to know you're there anyway. Or at least have a good idea that you're there. So, anyway, back to it. How do I carry this monster? So nobody makes a true, or that I've seen. Nobody makes a true Beretta appendix carry with a X300 on it holster. So I ended up picking up this, the Filster Floodlight. I got this on Amazon. I want to say for like $100 and something. It was actually pretty cheap for what it is. The only thing I did different was he sent it with loops, lifted out loops, and his own clips. I tried his clips. I could get them on my belt, but damn if I couldn't get them off. So I swapped them out for some Raven concealment loops. I've been carrying, Raven concealment clips. I've been carrying with these clips on there for, almost a year now with this setup, and I've never had these come off my belt. This particular holster is not firearm specific. It is specific to the light. It's X300. Oh man, my nose is itching. It's X300 specific. So if you look, this really doesn't do it a good justice, but here, let's try from the back. All the tensioning is on the light, right? On the front, you've got this shock cord that you can just add a little bit more tension to it with, but everything is done right here through these screws underneath the concealment wing. The other nice thing about this particular holster, and this doesn't make any difference to me, is that it's completely ambidextrous. So if I were a left-handed shooter, there's holes on the backside for me to swap all this over. If that makes a difference to you and you love your X300s and you don't want to buy a whole ton of holsters, this is definitely worth the cost of admission. If I carried anything else with an X300 on it, I probably wouldn't need any other holsters. But this is the only pistol at the moment that, actually, I do have another X300. One moment. All right, so we're back. Empty SIG. This is a SIG Pro 2022 that I bought used a while ago. There you go. There's another X300 that I had laying around. I do have two of them. Generally, I don't really do much with this gun, but we're going to use it to make a point. If I wanted to carry it, I would have to ease some of the, I would have to back off on the tension screws because this is a chunky monkey of a pistol. But as you can see, it fits. Man. So we'll just put that down here for the moment and continue on my merry way. So that's what I carry my Beretta in. Spare magazine is a Huckleberry Tactical magazine carrier. Nothing fancy. Zombie green rivet, just because I wanted it, with another one of his clips on it. It came with a foamy clip, I believe, that you can clip it to the outside of your belt. I find that having the two items up front, the pistol and the magazine, do wonders for being comfortable and alleviating some of the printing. Like, it keeps the gun from shifting too much to one side and the butt sticking out, if that makes any sense. Now, on the alternative, so somebody's going to want to see a Glock, right? Because if it ain't a Glock, it ain't a gun. I showed you all these old hammer-fired dinosaurs. There you go. She's empty. My Glock 23. Don't get in here and tell me 40 sucks. It works. It ain't my favorite. It's what I need for work. This also has, if you see, a green outline on the front night sight. So this has night sights and a light on it. TLR1HL. This is a lumen monster. I believe this is like 1,000 lumens of constant on and enough strobe to make you want to puke. And it's pretty much carried the same way, except this one is carried in a firearm specific holster. Right? It'll carry a 17, 19, 22, 23, 45, 19X, basically anything on that platform with the TLR1 HL on it, or regular TLR1 as well. And for a backup magazine, same premise as the Beretta, right? another inside the waistband magazine. This, for backup on this, I just use a Glock 22 magazine. I don't know if you can see that. So it'll work for a 22 or a 31, 32, yada yada. Because everybody knows that you can put the magazine for the bigger Glock in the smaller one. And I know somebody's going to ask me what I've got done to this. Magwell, night sights, and a chopped beaver tail backstrap. That's it. Like I said, it's not my favorite gun. I use it for work. It works. But again, it's just a Glock thing. If your grip is off, you can induce a malfunction. I've done it with this one twice. Once was by accident. The second time was to try for repeatability. Once with my 45. But beyond that, it has been 100% reliable. Put that away. For belts, this is probably the most Gucci piece of equipment that you're going to see on me. Here you go. Enjoy the crotch shot. This is a core trackline belt, or trackline core EDC belt. I'm not going to take it all the way off. What you can see, it's got these little ratchet points. Kind of works like a zip tie. And it is very stiff, right? What it does is you can hear it. That's it ratcheting down. So you pull it to where it's comfortable and adjust it. They sell them, I believe they come like 50 or 54 inches, and you cut it to what fits you. So the only thing that we didn't cover is sometimes this little guy comes with me. This is a K-Bar TDI. This is the smaller one. I have the bigger one that I carry on my vest for work when I'm working. I have it mollied into the, oh, you can't see what I'm talking about. Maybe we'll do that in another video. I'll bring home my my vest rig and go over that with you. Anyway, that's the only difference. I hope you guys took something away from this. Hope it gives you a good insight into why I do what I do, how I do, as opposed to Gucci gear, spend a lot of money. I think I'm into it total for the Beretta. You know, I don't consider the firearm part of the cost, but that was $100. That was $25. I would have bought the light anyway. I would have bought the knife anyway. So there's nothing high dollar Gucci about either one of these two setups that I showed you. And just for those who actually want to see it, all right, this is still empty. Actually, this is getting tossed back into the work mix anyway. So we'll load it up and put it away in a minute here. And yes, I do carry ETS magazines in my Glocks. Sometimes. They work just fine. Haven't had a problem with one yet. So for those of you that want to see what this setup looks like, tucks in the same way. Let me loosen that up because I'm chubby. Actually, here you go. So if you look, my belt kind of bulges a little bit toward the side that my pistol's on, right? If I stick the mag carrier on the other side, it just kind of evens things out. Adjust that back down for the right tension. And there you go. I actually find that the Beretta carries a little bit better for me. But you can see this disappears just as easily. It's a good holster. You can get a good firing grip on it. I'm not going to dick around with it too much since I just loaded it. If you're going to ring off in the comment section that I'm going to shoot my nuts off with an appendix carry holster, just keep it moving. Anyway, I hope you liked it. Hope you learned something from it. Share it with your friends if you did. Catch you in the next one. Be safe. Watch your six. Out for now.